Hi friends, thank you for joining. In today's recipe we'll be preparing mac and cheese. So I'm going to be showing you my own recipe, my own way, an updated recipe of how I prepare mac and cheese. Okay, so stay tuned, join me in the kitchen. I'll show you everything and we get started. For this recipe you need some cheese. I'm using cheddar cheese. You need some butter. You need milk. I used evaporated milk. You need onion. You need tomatoes. I used 2 large tomatoes. Friends, the first thing we'll do is to prepare the pasta. So I already boiled water. So here's the pasta that we're going to be preparing. It's elbow pasta. So I'll go ahead and just pour it inside the water, okay? I'll just allow it to boil for about 5 minutes and I turn off the stove and then drain the water. So you also want to add in a little bit of salt. So I add in also some salt and go ahead and stir. And allow it to cook for about 5 minutes, all right? To prepare the mac and cheese, we also need some cheese. So I have cheese here. I'm going to shred it from scratch. So normally you want to use like different types of cheese, but I'm going to be using just cheddar cheese for this recipe. So you can always mix different types of cheese and then you use. So I'll go ahead and shred it, okay? Let's go ahead and shred the cheese. All done. This is the outcome. So now we'll check our pasta. All right, so it's ready. You go ahead and drain the water and then you set it aside. Now let's prepare the sauce. So you begin by melting up the butter. I use 4 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and add in the onion. You fry the onion for about 3 minutes and then you add in the tomatoes. In goes the tomatoes. Now give it a nice stir and then you allow the tomatoes to really cook down, all right, until the sour taste disappear. Meanwhile, I'll have to add in some chicken as well. So this is optional, okay? The chicken, the onion, the tomatoes is optional, but it is so good in this recipe that I'm showing you right now. So this chicken is my leftover baked chicken that I had at home. So I'll go ahead and just shred it into little pieces. Perfect to add in the sauce, all right, in the pasta sauce. So just keep watching and see how the recipe unfolds. The outcome is very impressive, right? And if you are joining for the first time, guys, I appreciate you and you are all welcome. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet done so and give me that amazing thumb up as well. So what I'm doing, actually, I'm trying to debone it, all right? I just want to use the chicken and no bones at this point. Friends, I also did a video of how to debone fresh chicken some time ago. So I also attached the link in the description box. You can go ahead and watch it as well if you have not yet done so. All done. I'll set this aside and we are going to do the sauce now. So go ahead and check the pot. The tomatoes, look at that, it's well cooked. The next thing that you add in is the milk. So I actually added in 1 cup of milk. I'm using evaporated milk. You can use any milk of your choice. Now go ahead and add in some chicken bouillon. This is bouillon, friends. So I added 2 tablespoons. And the next thing that you add in is flour, alright? So I added in 2 tablespoons of flour as well. If you want, you can add more, but more like 3 tablespoons or 4, but I did add just 2. That is enough for this recipe. You give it a nice stir, and you make sure that you stir it well because you don't want the flour to form like some lumps. So you have to stir it well. Now I'll be adding it in some paprika for that bright, beautiful color that you like. Yeah, mac and cheese. And then I'll also add in some of the cheese that we'll use as topping for the mac and cheese. So I'll go ahead and add in some of the cheese. Go ahead and stir for the cheese to melt up. So just make sure that you stir everything well to thoroughly combine, and then you add in the chicken. Look at that, friends. Trust me, at this point, this sauce is so good. You can even use it to eat like rice, right? Or plantain or any other thing, any other side dish that you want to eat it with. But this came out so good, and it tastes really so good at this point. Now you want to add in the pasta. Then you give it a nice stir, right? After you add in the pasta, you give it a nice stir, and then you have now to transfer this pasta in a bowl or a baking pan where you bake it in the oven. Okay, at this point, go ahead and transfer the pasta in a baking pan. So I actually did like 2 layers. The first layer I did spread some cheese, and then I added in more pasta, like a second layer, and I also did spread a second layer of cheese as well. So this is the outcome. Now it's ready to pop in the oven, alright? So you bake it in the oven. I did bake it at the temperature of 370, and I baked it for about 15 minutes. So when I put it in the oven from the start, I don't cover it, okay? I allow it for like 10 minutes. The cheese melt down, and then I go ahead and cover it with a foil paper because I don't want it to get burnt at the top. And this is about 20 minutes later, friends. The mac and cheese is ready. Trust me, this mac and cheese was so good until my kids were like, this is my next best favorite right now. So go ahead and try out this recipe and let me know what you think in the comment section below, alright? I'm sending you tons of hugs, and remember, you are always the best. So you can now serve your mac and cheese warm and enjoy. This recipe came out so good, and it tastes really so good as well. I thank you so much for joining. See you next time. Bye, y'all.